stereotypes can affect the results, interpretation, or the expectations at the beginning of the study. Publication bias is a major issue in psychology. We often don't publish negative results, and it could well be that we don't publish results that either show significant differences or that show no differences, and therefore this can lead to a particular picture being painted through sort of publication that males or females are either very different or overly similar. Examples of study that showed gender bias. Ash, for example, only used males and generalized his findings to females. Later research has found that females tend to be more subject to conformity than males. So Ash's original research literally circumvented or biased the belief that conformity was equal. Milgram and Zimbardo also used males, though subsequent findings did not establish that females are more obedient than males, except for one or two minor studies. Zimbardo used only males in a male-dominated environment, prisons, and therefore it's difficult to generalize role identification and conformity of social roles to females. And Moscovici, interestingly, in his minority influence study, used only females. Females tend to have higher conformity rates according to subsequent research than males, so that's definitely an issue for Moscovici. Examples of gender bias in theories. So Freud's entire theory is androcentric. The Oedipus complex was applied to females as almost an afterthought, and concepts such as penis envy actually denigrate the position of females in their development, suggesting that they feel lost and lack, and as a result behave in a particular way. Bem's theory of psychological androgyny is a beta bias theory. She claims that all personality characteristics are equally adoptable, but research in monkeys has shown that males and females seem to have innate preferences for certain behaviours and activities, such as the boys playing with trucks and the female monkeys playing with dolls. Evaluating gender bias. It's important to recognise it. This improves our awareness of gender differences and potential issues that emerge from the research, as well as social issues in a wider context. Critical analysis of beta bias might lead us to see the quality is important in terms of employment and education. Women do far better in education now than boys, and it's very important to find out why that is and what's happened to leave boys behind. Must also recognise that gender bias can cause harm. Theories, studies that portray males and females in a particular light can have harmful stereotyping effects and lead to injustices in the real world. Finally, remember that any type of gender bias stops us seeing people as individuals. As researchers, we want to quantify, but we also want to recognise individual differences. Essentialism. Many of the gender differences that have been looked at tend to be essentialist. They tend to be biological, or at least the explanations fixed in nature, and that's problematic because that suggests that you can't change it. So if you take the IQ test research, which shows that on average males have a higher average but a greater range of IQs compared to females, who tend to have on average slightly lower but a much narrower range. So fewer idiots but fewer geniuses. This is an essentialist view. IQ is genetic, it is male or female, and therefore. Feminism psychology we could talk about in class, but this is something feminists are always concerned about, is many of the issues that we've raised so far.